Welcome back to Corporate Corridor. We're talking about the paint industry of Pakistan today. I'm joined by Dr. Amir Jafri, Vice President at ICI Pakistan, who is looking after ICI's paint business here in Pakistan. Now, Dr. Jafri, before going on to break, we spoke about the overall industry, how the economic slowdown has impacted the overall growth of the industry. And we were particularly talking about the automotive sector and the supply and demand constraints which came about as a result of the economic recession. Now, continuing with that, now you mentioned that because of a slowdown in sales, the OEM supplies did go down. What about the refinish business?
Refinish business in Pakistan obviously covers many aspects, where primarily is the accidents that happen to cars and then they go and they get repainted. What we saw in this segment was a few outlets closing down. The smaller ones that could not take the pressure obviously disappeared. The others did see a major slowdown, up to 20% in their volume coming in for paint. So that has affected the paint segment and the industry.
All right, and talking about ICI's acquisition with ExxonMobil, now how has that been? Rebranding with ExxonMobil, has that had a positive impact on ICI? Because ICI as a global name has been very strong in Pakistan. ExxonMobil haven't had that strong sort of, let's say, name, so to say, in this particular region of the world.
ExxonMobil is one of the pioneer and leading paints organizations in the world. It is the #1 decorative, and now the #1 decorative paints company and the performance coatings company in the world, by far the leader. Joining hands with ICI was a very logical strategic fit because both companies had their own positives in various regions. Okay. And where ICI was stronger, it became a bigger, stronger company, and vice versa. In Pakistan, ICI Pakistan Limited has been operating pre-partition days and is a very strong company. Joining hands with Exo worldwide has given us access to a lot of products, specialized products that were technologies of Exo, and which will help us diversify and enter market segments that we were not operating before.
So it's been a positive move.
It's been a very positive move for both companies globally, and especially also for ICI Pakistan.
All right, and Dr. Jafri, commenting on the capacity and the decline in capacity which has come about as a result of the economic meltdown. Now, you were mentioning that initially ICI was performing at optimal capacity, and because of the slowdown which came about, you just reduced the number of shifts. Now, will that going forward have an impact on the revenues of ICI?
Well, obviously, when volumes are hit, the top line does reduce profitability, but sound management systems, which ICI is very proud of, its management talent and systems. We have various measures looking at our costs very seriously, and other measures to diversify, innovate at these times to ensure that the company continues to report healthy numbers.
All right, and particularly focusing now back onto the paints business. Now, there's been a lot of product diversification by the paint industry, and before this interview, we were actually sitting down and talking about what segment ICI actually caters to. Now, there is a general perception in, if you go and talk to the public out there, that they say ICI or Berger for that matter caters to the high and the elite class, and we have a major segment which is the unsegmented sector, which uses tuna, so to say. So how is #1 ICI dealing with that, and #2, is that perception right that it only caters to the elite?
Well, no, because we have a premium tier segment, Dulux. Dulux is such a big household name that when people talk of ICI, you talk of Dulux. When you talk of Dulux, you talk of ICI. And because that caters to the premium segment, that may be giving this impression that we only are present in the premium tier. ICI has product offerings in the mid to lower tier as well, and whereby we offer products to all socioeconomic levels of society. And these products are of top quality, and have the backing of ICI that has always been innovating, be it the color studios, be it the odorless paint, be it the customer services at doorsteps of consumer. We have always pioneered in various things like this, and continue to strive to be innovative in future.
True, and talking about these innovations, we did see the likes of the ICI Color Studio coming in. Number one, how has been the response been to that? Because it's an interesting idea. We've seen aesthetics departments being opened in various parts of the city for sort of consumers to come in, look at the paint which they're buying, look at it, or how it looks on the wall. So has there been a good response to that?
At Paints, we do not feel we are a paint selling company. We know that we are a decorative solution provider. So our team is not only geared to sell paint to consumer, we then want to make sure that that paint, when it's painted, the house is painted, the house looks good. So our team would come into your house and tell you what light to use, what sort of curtains to use, what should be the combination to use in the house. So we make sure that the complete solution is provided to the consumer.
All right, we'll take a very short break once again, Dr. Jafri. Once we come back from the break, on the other side, we'll talk about the overall volumetric sales and the demand in Pakistan. Now, there's a major segment which is unsegmented. What can be done to tap that particular segment? We'll talk to Dr. Jafri about that right after this very short break. So do stay with us.